Hey everybody, hope life finds you well. It's coming up on the back of the property on the four-wheeler to check out the trails. I usually take about a week once a year and go through and clean them up, get all the downed limbs and trees that have fallen out of the way, and then I'll take the mower back and mow through the path so it's all cut down so that we've got a nice place to walk back there. It's been kind of busy this year and I just really haven't had a chance to do it, so I figured I've got time next week because Yoda's down visiting our son and granddaughter and daughter-in-law, so the honey-do list is kind of short this week. But as I was on my way up here, I thought I would do a follow-up to the video I posted a couple of days ago about the alternative source for instead of buying store-bought hay. It's been about a week since I filmed that, but it's been a couple of days since I posted it. If you look back behind me here, you can see that I've got a lot more of this field mode, and the fence line back here, back over my shoulder and everything, our property actually goes about 10-15 feet on the other side of that fence. And I'm going to talk to our neighbors. They never do anything with that field, and so I figured that I could use that to mow as well and utilize that for the animals too. But I showed the original video to somebody, and they asked a couple of questions that I thought I would follow up with y'all and let you know the answers to. The first one is, isn't it kind of labor intensive? And the answer is yes. It is a little labor intensive. I mean, the amount of effort it takes to go buy hay and feed the animals versus coming out every day and mowing is there's a huge difference. But I would be mowing this area anyway. I mow it once or twice a year because we come back and we use this field to shoot skeet, and we plan on doing camping back here. We haven't yet, but we want to keep it nice and keep all the scrub trees from growing up and everything. So I would be mowing this area anyway. So I finally figured, well, since I'm mowing it, instead of letting that grass go to waste, I'll just utilize it for the animals. And that's one of the sustainability and nothing goes to waste are a couple of the permaculture ethos that we try to live by. And the second one was, well, it was originally a hayfield, and when it grows up, you can actually see there's some brome that actually grows up in the field. And why don't you just turn it back into a hayfield? And I had mulled that idea around, and I was like, why not? Let's see. I don't know what it takes. I know that you just can't take seeds and throw them on the ground, but I didn't have any idea what it took to actually turn this back into a hayfield. So I went and I asked some people that I knew that grow hay, and the one answer across the board, or the one comment across the board, was you have to prepare a seed bed. And in order to prepare a seed bed for a field like this, you have to till it, and that entails getting a tractor back here and tilling it under and turning up all the dirt. And the other way they do it is they kill the grass. They come out and they spray chemicals on the grass, and it kills the grass, and then you let it wait until the chemicals dissipate, and then you can plant the grass and stuff, or the hay. So the first option, I don't have access to a big enough tiller to till this area, and quite frankly, I don't want to till this area. I like the natural grass and everything, and tilling it up just would destroy the root structure in here and everything, and it's just I just don't want to do that. And as far as spraying chemicals on the ground, we don't use chemicals. The only place we use chemicals, and I know I shouldn't, but it's one of my, I've got this undiagnosed case of OCD, and so sometimes I do things I shouldn't do. And the one place I use chemicals is I use it on the gravel driveway to kill the grass. Because there's a part of me that likes the delineation between the grass and the driveway. And I know I shouldn't do it, so don't fill up the comment section with saying I'm a hypocrite and everything. I realize I'm a hypocrite. There's a whole bunch of us around here, and we could always use more, so come on in. you know. So that's the reason why I'm going to continue mowing mowing this field. You know, I've started going back over here behind where the trees are. I ended up planting, when we first moved in here, the first 2 years I planted, oh gosh, over 300 rootstock. And what rootstock is it's a tree, and they pull it out of the ground and they take all the dirt off, and so it's just like a twig with roots on it. And the conservation department in my state sells them, and if you buy them in bulk, you can get them down to like 10 cents a piece. So I planted not just back here, but back here in the woods in front of me, and down by the house, and just all over the place. I planted about 300 rootstocks, and it cost grand total less than $100. You know, less than $100 for 300 trees. And I sat down and I did the math, and I was like, you know, if you go to a nursery and buy a potted tree and go to plant it, you're going to pay. I mean, you might get them on sale at the end of the season for $10, but through the season, I mean, you're going to pay $30 a piece. You know, and I figured, I was like, you know, if only 10% of them survive, I'm still ahead of the game financially. And I can tell you right now that a lot more than 10% have survived. There's the fence line coming up onto this backfield that I showed you driving the mower up on the first video. I planted holly trees all up along that fence line. I did holly trees, and I did some sort of nut tree, and I cannot remember what it was, but I did them every other one, so that eventually it would grow up, and the fence row would have the holly trees were, since they have leaves on them year round, that would be shelter for the animals, and then the nut and berry trees that I put in would provide food for the birds. So the birds would have shelter, and they'd have food, and it would attract more wildlife to the area. So anyway, that's my reasoning behind why I'm going to keep mowing this. You know, if you can think of any reason why I shouldn't keep doing it the way I am, go ahead and leave a comment below. Now, I got to go check out the trails, and I'm going to try to take the camera with me. I honestly don't know how I'm going to be able to drive the ATV and hold the camera at the same time, but we're going to give it a try. And I'm going to take you back on the back of the far back of the property where the woods are, and show you what it's like back there, because it is really gorgeous. So come on, let's go take a ride. This trail was here when we first moved in, and it was all overgrown, and there were logs across it. And I spent time the first couple of years we were in here clearing it out. And I usually run the mower back here a couple of times a year, you know, unless there's logs and stuff going across it. But I come down at least once a year and do a major cleanup back here. And you know, the reason that we keep the trail is A, so we can walk back here. B, you know, I do deer hunt back here, so it makes it easy access. In fact, as we go around this big vine, if you look right up there, we've got a friend of ours who bow hunts. Actually, he's one of Yoda's investors that buys real estate. but he bows hunt, and so we've got a thing going on where he bought a tree stand, and it stays on the property as long as he's got access to hunt to it. And he took a pretty good 8-point deer off of here a couple years ago, you know. And I come back here. I've taken one deer off of here. I've got another place that's not ours. I hunt with a friend of ours where I hunt. But so, you know, the deer do come back here. Now, let me see if I can get around this tree. Oh. Okay, I'm back. That took both hands to maneuver around that tree, so I had to turn the camera off. But you know, it's probably, if I start at the house and I walk the path all the way around the property, there's a couple of paths. It's almost exactly 1 mile. It's just a little bit over 1 mile. But we enjoy walking back here. It's nice and relaxing. You come up here sometimes and you'll spook deer up, and there's raccoons back here and all kinds of wildlife. Plus, you know, I come back here and I do cut wood back here. I haven't the past couple of years because there's been a lot of trees that came down up close to the house, so I've been cutting a lot up there. Yeah, I definitely need to get back here and mow. So here's one corner of our property. If you look back there, there's the neighbor's land. He's got, Jiminy, Christmas, gosh, 200 or 300 acres. I mean, pretty close to that. But he runs cattle, and there's been a couple times that I've come back here and found hoof prints in the woods back here. And there was one time about 3 years ago that I went out one morning and there were hoof prints going up like right next to our driveway, where apparently a cow had come across the fence and then had walked up the property to the house and gone out on the road, and probably was attracted by the herd that's across the road from us. But yeah, you know, it is kind of relaxing. It's fun to bring the four-wheeler back here and ride the trail, and it's just really nice to get out here when it's cool and walk it. You know, there's a lot to see back here. When we moved in, this part of the trail that we're on right now, there were like 3 great big huge trees that had fallen across the trail and made it impassable. There's the rest of the trail. So if you stop here, if you look back there, that's the field as it's mowed. And I went down there over there where that copse of trees is, and I started mowing back around there, and all those trees that you see standing out in the field. I don't know. Let's see if I can zoom in. Yeah, see all those standalone trees out there? Those are ones that I planted 3 or 4 years ago, and they're growing. All right. Oh man, what is that? Spider web? Let me see if I can clean the lens off. I didn't realize there was stuff on there. Alright, that looks like the lens is clear. Let's go ahead and get back to the tour. Let's head down to the bottom trail. Oh yeah, I definitely need to get back here and trim this up. These are not supposed to be going across the trail like that. Now right here, if you go back there, back between those evergreen trees, there's a little trail that goes back there to the back side of the pond. And I'll show you that at some point. I got to get back there and clean it up. But if we continue down that way, it takes us down to the bottom trail. And let's go see what's down there, see what it looks like down there. So this is one of the last things I need to clean up on the property. This is an old camper shell, and right down there behind it is an engine block. And how they got back, oh, and there's a bed frame right here too. And I've been holding off on doing it because I haven't had any way to haul that engine block out. But now that I've got the front loader, once I get it installed, I'm gonna go ahead and come back here and grab that thing, and to dispose of it somehow. I don't know what I'm going to do. I may just dig a hole and bury it. And all you eco people don't go crazy on me because of that. All right, let's go down the bottom trail. Gotta tell you, doing this one-handed for y'all, kind of hard. That's nothing I haven't done before. Oh, that's new. So I got a dead tree that fell down across the trail. I got to get out here and take care of that one. All right, I'm gonna put both hands on. I may have to turn the camera off here right for a second so I can maneuver over this thing. Let's see if I can do it one-handed. Oh yeah, we can do this. Alright, so here the trail kind of splits. I cut, when we moved in, the trail that goes down this way was not there. It was a deer path is what it was. And I cut that trail down there, and if you go down here, let's see if I can, if you go down here behind these tall trees right there, there's a big patch of gooseberries back there. And I just found them. We've been here for 5 years, and I just found them. They hadn't been growing back there until recently. And I went back there to see if I could harvest any, and the dang deer had gotten to them and eaten them all. But we got a great big gooseberry patch back there, and I just desperately love gooseberries. I grew up in the suburbs, and the house next door to us had a great big giant gooseberry patch, or a gooseberry bush, and the guy that lived there hated gooseberries. So he told my mom, he said, you take as many as you want. So she would send me over with a great big bowl, and I'd spend a couple hours picking gooseberries, and she'd make gooseberry pies for me. So to this day, I just desperately love me a gooseberry pie, man. There's nothing better than a warm gooseberry pie with a little dollop of ice cream on top of it. Man, you cannot beat that. So, and then we come this way. Let's go this way. Nope. That's what I get for trying to drive one-handed. There's another tree that came down recently. That one's relatively new too. That one, I will probably not cut that one up. That one looks like it's pretty rotted. This one next to us, that one's nice and straight, and it might be salvageable. I mean, it'll make good firewood. And then here, this is what we call the campground, and we always had intentions on camping out here, but we never did. In fact, we actually do our camping with our homesteading circle, and we actually do it other places. But this is a nice little area. I keep it mowed. I keep it mowed more than I keep that backfield mowed. There's enough room back here. I'm eventually going to put a fire pit of some sort back here, so people, whenever they come over to visit, they'll be able to camp. Then we come out here, and that's the lane leading back up to the top of the property. And you saw the video when I was doing the hay video of me driving the mower back up there. And then you go that way and you're going back down to the house. So let's go on back down to the house. I got some chores I need to do. Across the creek. That's a wet weather creek that runs back here, and they took broken up concrete from the old homestead and put it across the little ford right there, and it's kind of rough. I think now that I've got the front loader, I'm going to put a culvert in there. Go by the pigs. They're getting big. And then we go by the sheep pen. There's Baby. There's Baby and Blackie. He's our great big buck. Oh, look, and we got an escapee. That right there, that's Lola. Lola figured out that she can climb on the back of the sheep and jump on top of the low loafing shed, and then jump off out into the yard and get her fill of grass and stuff. And hey, look at her. She knows I'm talking about her. She knows I'm talking about her. She's just waiting for me to come get her. So basically what I'll do is I'll go get a bucket or a scoop of grain, and I'll bring her back down to the fence, and then I'll put her back in the fence. I'm probably gonna let her stay out a little bit, because if I put her back in, and chances are it's early enough, she's probably gonna try to escape. But you know what? That's just another day. That's just another day at Grumpy Acres. Well, I hope you enjoyed the tour. Hang on a second. I got spider webs all over the camera. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the tour. You know, go ahead and hit the subscription button or subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Let us know what you think about things. Let us you know I can't even talk today. Let us know if there's anything else you want to see. And until next time, live a life done free. It's Grumpy G, clear. Thanks, Milo.